Hey, what's up? What's up, everybody, to the first episode of Real Review. We're about to get this thing started in just a few
It's the
seconds.
real review. It's the real review. It's the real review.
Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the first episode of Real Review. I am your host, John F. Thomas. I appreciate all y'all tuning in to the first episode of Real Review. I had like another episode before, another show before called Action Movie Breakdown. I don't know if some of y'all remember, but it was a really great show with my main man, Ellis E. Fowler. But, we both got so busy, we haven't been able to do this. But I'm glad I'm able to bring something like this out to y'all. This is great. And this is amazing because the first thing we're gonna review, which I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't that excited about it at first, but we are gonna be reviewing WandaVision. I don't know if any of y'all seen this yet or seen the trailers and stuff for it, but a lot of people who are Marvel fans, they have been really excited about this. Me, not so much, and I'll give my reasons because of that. But we're going to be reviewing this show. A lot of people have been watching this, and they've been telling me what they think and telling me, "Hey, man, you should watch this show." And I was just like, yeah, maybe. Who knows? We'll see. And next thing you know, here I am reviewing this. So this is the first episode of WandaVision that we're going to be reviewing. And I'm gonna just go ahead and just break into that. But before we get into that, make sure that you're hitting the like button. Make sure that you're sharing this video so more people can see. I want to hear your thoughts. Please leave them in the comments since you're watching live. I want to see what you think. If you agree with me, if you don't, and I'll tell you why you're wrong. But anyway, so this is where you're gonna get your fix for reviews, because I'm doing movies, I'm doing TV shows. If you want to recommend a movie or a TV show, you can do that. You can contribute to this podcast, to the show. You can contribute $1, $5, $10, because I have this on a podcast. So anchor.fm/real review/support. You can put money in that, and I'll review whatever you like me to review. But this is Real Review. I'm glad you're here. This is a place where we're going to keep it real. So anyway, going back to WandaVision, we're reviewing that today, season 1. I don't know, episode 1. And this is a Marvel TV show that stars Elizabeth Olsen as Wanda Maximoff, and aka Scarlet Witch, and Paul Bettany as Vision. So and this plot is basically about them living in a community. It's like based in the 1950s, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of an interesting show how they pitched it, how they showed it. So if anything, I'll give them that. It was interesting. I would just like, I don't know what's going on, what's happening. My interest was piqued. So they're living in a community in the 1950s, I guess, and they're trying to fit into the new neighborhood. Now, before I get into this review, this is a spoiler review. So if you haven't seen it, I suggest you watch this video after you watch WandaVision episode 1 of season 1, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, so we're going to be digging into that. What's going on, Levi? Hey, how's it going? I appreciate you tuning in. So we're going to be digging into the WandaVision. So the first thing, I'm going to break this up into 3 different categories. So the first category is acting and casting. The second category is story. The third category is budget and marketing. So the first thing, let's just go into the first category, which is acting and casting. So the acting and casting was really good. I'll give them that. I mean, even though I've never been that huge of a fan of this character per se in this universe, in Marvel world, but they did a pretty good job, with Elizabeth Olsen. She's doing a great job. Paul Bettany is doing an amazing job. Even the supporting cast, which I don't have their names right now, forgive me, but you guys are important as well, because I know as an actor, it's very important. But they did a really, really, really good job. I mean, and to be playing in this, because, we've moved on from the 1950s. That was 70 years ago. But, for this to be based in that time, and they played it perfectly to that time frame. How? Because you can basically take this show and place it right in there with Mary Tyler Moore, you can place that was probably like that was later on in the 70s. Never mind. You can place it alongside these other shows like I Love Lucy, Bewitched, things like that. Shows like the I Dream of Jeannie. You can place these shows there, and a lot of you can't really tell the difference because they did that good of a job, especially acting wise. The acting was really on point, so I will give them that. And the casting was perfect because really, with Paul Bettany, he was cool in the Marvel movies, but I never really cared that much for his character. I mean, he was like, again, he was cool, but I didn't really care that much, right? I mean, so but he ends up doing like a really good job in this, and here he is as Vision. So he's a cool dude, but in the movies I didn't really care, but in this TV show he's doing a really good job. He's taking care of business. He is changing, morphing back and forth between him as Vision, but it's kind of interesting because he's still wearing his like sweater vest or whatever whatever on top of him being Vision. But then when he goes out, he looks like a regular human because he morphs himself, or I don't know, maybe Scarlet Witch does that. Who knows? But he does that, and that's pretty cool. So he does a really good job knowing that because he goes to work and he talks to his coworkers, and everybody does a great job. So the acting is great, the casting is great. Shout out to the casting director for casting amazing actors. Casting directors are very important. I know a lot of people don't think about that, but casting directors are extremely important. So they did a really great job in this. Elizabeth Olsen also did a great job. I don't want to, because this kind of centers in a sense around her. I know it's Wanda Maximoff and Vision, but she seems to me as more the star because the story seems to be focused on her. I'm not going to the story yet, but this is acting and casting. So she does a really good job. She is killing it. Also in the movies, I never really cared that much about her per se, but she does a really great job in this. So for this, I will give my rating for just the acting and casting. I'll give it 5 reels. 5 reels for acting and casting. They did a really good job with that. Hats off to them, even though I didn't really care to watch this show, but they did a good job with that. I'm interested in just seeing what they do off of the acting casting, but 5 reels for that. Going into the next category, just keeping it moving. Story. How was the story? Was the story really good? I'll say that the story was really good. For it just just focus in on that first episode. The story was really great. They were really confused as to what was going on here and there. You can kind of tell by the look on their faces. They were trying to figure out what's going on, trying to ask each other, like, wait, so how long have we been together? What have we, wait, when did we move here? All this other kind of stuff. So that was really interesting because you're trying to figure out what's going on yourself. And they're in the night. Why are they in the 1950s? My initial thought is Scarlet Witch is going crazy. She's losing her mind. She's going insane, and she can't cope with losing her brother, and then also on top of that, losing losing Vision, to Thanos and all of that. So they're trying to figure out what's going on. And if you don't remember who her brother is, he was in what was it? Avengers 2, that movie. I can't tell you the name of it because I don't really remember. I don't really care that much because it was okay. It did, but I'm not reviewing this movie. I'm reviewing this show. So that's Elizabeth Olsen and her brother Quicksilver. I forgot his real name. My apologies again to the actor. Excuse me if you're watching this. But it's a really great. I mean, she was already stressed out enough, with that. To fast forward to Thanos, the ultimate villain so far in the Marvel Avengers storyline, the huge movie franchise storyline, that she ended up losing, kind of going crazy after that. I mean, she went after Thanos in this one scene. Actually, because I did like a recap and I wondered, like, what happened? Because where has Scarlet Witch been? Why hasn't she been doing more? But she got upset, and so now and she went after Thanos, and she kind of scared Thanos a little bit. But now she's here. So fast, but where in the timeline are we here? I'm guessing story-wise that this is after Endgame. What's happening here? Because she's still like, yeah, we beat Thanos, we saved the world, but I still can't cope. I'm trying to figure out what's happening. And so in the story, Vision has to go to work, and they see this little heart on the calendar, and they're trying to figure out like, wait, do we have an anniversary? Like, what's the anniversary? And then they start getting mad, kind of at each other, like, I can't believe you don't remember. I can't believe you don't remember. And so Vision ends up going to work, where he ends up finding out like, oh, my boss, Mr. Hart, is coming today, and I have to impress my boss. And then it goes into like this kind of cute thing, which is very great. It reminds me of, how the 1950s, sitcoms used to be, where, there was like a misunderstanding. So he calls his wife and he's like, hey, baby, I'm just trying to make sure everything's going to be perfect. He's talking about his boss coming. She thinks that he's talking about like just their anniversary, so there's the disconnect, and shenanigans ensue from there. So he comes home with his boss and his boss's wife, and his wife is dressed in lingerie and all this other stuff, and everything's set the mood, everything's all sexy, and he's just like, no, this is not the time to be doing this. So she has to hurry up and rush and try to make some food. Now, granted, Vision doesn't eat, and Scarlet Witch, they kind of mentioned this. They don't have any food in the refrigerator, so she ended up befriending her neighbor earlier, and her neighbor brought over food, and she's trying to overstay her welcome. She pushes out and she tries to use her magic. It's almost like Disney. Well, it is Disney. Disney owns, but in Disney kind of fashion, it's magical things up in the air. They're shaking, and she's trying to cook all these things, and it doesn't really work. But long story short, it ends up getting like breakfast together, and the boss is kind of questioning like, breakfast for dinner? Like, this is crazy. But they barely make it, out, and they're sitting down and they're talking and everything. And an interesting thing happens where the boss starts choking on some food, and next thing you know, like the boss's wife is like, stop it. She's like crying and all this, stop it. And for whatever reason, I was confused. I was like, why isn't Vision going over there trying to help his boss? And he was just like kind of looking at the boss and looking back at Wanda, and Wanda's looking at him, and they're just looking at each other, while the wife is just like, because it seems like the wife is saying stop it to the husband. Because I really like the way they kind of played it in a sense. It seems like she's telling like her husband, like, you're embarrassing. Stop it. But she looks at Wanda and she's like, stop it. And, she starts crying. Actually, the boss's wife, that is Mrs. Foreman from that 70s show. Little FYI. So it was good seeing her in that show. That was cool. That was dope. And it was really nice to see her play that kind of role, because typically she ends up like just doing comedy, but there is a seriousness underneath all of that. So she is playing it up, saying stop it. But I clocked that I felt like she was also saying it to Wanda, like stop it, like please stop it. So Wanda finally told Vision like, hey, heal him and stuff, like fix him. So he did his phase through, got the food out. And oddly enough, like right after that, the boss doesn't even really register or doesn't even acknowledge that he almost died. So he just like up and just, all right, well, you're going to get that promotion you've been looking for. I'll see you on Monday or whatever. And they leave after that. And it's just like, that's weird. None of them acknowledge how serious their situation was. So that being said, the story was really, really, really great and interesting starting out, because you still don't know what's going on. There's something that's not right, but you still can't really put your finger on it yet. And at the end of it all, there's like, they kind of like zoom out really quick. Like you're zooming out of a TV show as if we're watching this old school TV show, but you see this person's hand as if they're taking notes at this lab somewhere in color, and then it cuts. So with all of that being said, again, I'd have to say they did a really good job. I give that 5 reels for the story. 5 reels for that. That was a really great job on their end on doing that. So with that being said, we're going to our last category. The last category is budgeting and marketing. So how did I feel about all of this with these 3 categories, and 2 categories going into the third one, budget and marketing? The budget and marketing was pretty good. Well, the budget wise, everything looked really great. They did a really great job with showing Scarlet Witch doing her magic and all this other kind of stuff. and Vision morphing back and forth between human to the machine, where he's a robot or whatever. So that was really cool to get to see all of that. So I would say the budgeting side was really good. Marketing, I'd have to clock it a little bit on the marketing a little bit. I have to give it a little knock on the marketing, only because the marketing was good. The marketing was because you're trying to figure out what's going on. And again, well, let me stop. For everybody that's tuning in, please make sure you hit the like button, share this video so the more people can see it. Again, but on the marketing and thing I wasn't too crazy about was, I guess, leading up to this, because the marketing for this show in general was good, but leading up to this in the movies, I didn't care. I didn't care. And I know I'm probably going to trigger a lot of Marvel fans, but I'm just keeping real, man. I didn't care because they didn't really show Scarlet Witch to be that strong. And feel free to say whatever you feel, but I don't think that she was just really that dope. There was nothing about Scarlet Witch, as much as everybody said, oh, she's the strongest mutant or whatever Marvel wants to say. Maybe they can say mutant now. I forgot what they were saying before. Put in the comments I forgot what they said. It wasn't mutant, it was something else. But I didn't care. It was just like, the only other person I just don't care about is Hawkeye. And I don't care about neither of these two people, Hawkeye nor Scarlet Witch. I don't really care about Hawkeye's show. I didn't care about Scarlet Witch's show. But in seeing this, my tune has changed. But I'll give them a little knock, because they could have shown Scarlet Witch to be a bigger threat, to be a bigger player in all of these phases leading up to the show. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, you know what, they gotta make sure, you can't show all your cards, and they gotta build up to that and all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, that's cool, but if you want me to really tune in and watch this show, you have to make me care. It's just like, for instance, Ant-Man. I was talking to my best friend about this, and excuse me, let me get a drink of my cup here. Ant-Man, and I'll tell you the reason why I say you have to make these characters, make it seem like they matter. And Scarlet Witch didn't seem like she really mattered that much to me. With Ant-Man is he's not the most amazing to me, but they make him seem like he's a B or C hero, when he could be really more of a B hero. But like the movies were fine, don't get me wrong, but then when they brought him into the bigger fold of the Avengers, the other Avengers, bigger Avengers, kind of dissed him, like, oh yeah, whatever, this stupid dude, yeah, whatever, who are you, why are you here, all this other stuff. And you're really pointing out to me that this person doesn't matter. So which is really weird. And the thing that kind of bites them in the butt on that is, now you have Ant-Man 1, Ant-Man 2, and when he's trying to come out with Ant-Man 3, this dude is Paul Rudd, and Paul Rudd's a good actor. Paul Rudd was trying to get an Ant-Man 3. It's like, man, come on, everybody, let's try to get, come on, fans, let's try to get an Ant-Man 3. And it's like the fans couldn't really back it up. I like them. I would like to see an Ant-Man 3, but I'm not clamoring for an Ant-Man 3 because they don't really show him to be that important of a player, that important of a hero. So it's like, why should I care? But, again, that bites them in the butt. And same thing with this. This is biting them in the butt in the sense of they didn't have Scarlet Witch being that big of a player, or having her matter more than she did. She got slapped around by Thanos' minions. Some people probably say, oh, she was getting jumped. But Vision was there. Vision was supposed to be, Age of Ultron. That's the second Avengers movie. In Age of Ultron, Avengers 2, Vision was amazing. Vision was the shit, so, but then after that, they just really dumbed him down to where he didn't really matter. Same thing with Winter Soldier, Captain America 2. Winter Soldier, he was dope. He was beating everybody's butt, in a sense, except for Black Panther. Except for this guy. Black Panther was getting in that butt. But after that, what was he doing? He just, I only know how to use a machine gun now. And that's all he was doing. He couldn't go out there and help Captain America take on Thanos. Like, dude, you was given good hands all throughout Winter Soldier. All of a sudden, you just forgot how to do that now. Oh, man, well, since, I went to Black Panther, and Black Panther made me calm down, I don't know how to fight anymore. Huh? It's like, how does that make so Marvel? This bites them. This bites Marvel in their own butt. They are their own worst enemy in this sense because it's just like, well, in leading up to going back to Scarlet Witch, circling all the way back around, I would have cared more about the show, but because of them not really making her matter that much and only showing her in some small scenes, I'm going to help Captain America, I'm going to help Hawkeye, I'm going to help whoever, and then all right, bye, it don't matter, and she disappears, and it's just like, well, why do I care? She has her own show, so what? So with that being said, I give him a small knock in there. It's not that big of a knock, but I give him a small knock, and I give them. Wait, did I say? Let me take. No. What? Let me just make sure. Okay, yeah, I give them 4 reels. Excuse that. Give them 4 reels for that because it could have been 5 reels. Only if they did a better job storytelling wise and marketing leading. All of that matters. All of that matters. That's why I'm factoring it in. All of that matters. If this was on its own as its own thing or whatever, it probably would have gotten 5 reels in the category of budget and marketing, but 4 reels. So with all that being said, now that we're done with that, what is the total? The total score for WandaVision season 1, episode 1. Drum roll, please. No. Okay. I don't have anybody to give a drum roll. So it doesn't matter. I'll just go ahead and put up how many reels. So this is my total score for WandaVision episode 1, season 1. If this is only one, if there's going to be more seasons, I don't know. But boom, 4.5 reels. So what I did, I added all these scores up and divided them by 3. And this is tabulated and all this stuff. 4.5 reels. So this is really good. It's almost amazing. Almost. So, but this is just the first episode, so we'll see how it goes from there. Who knows? Thank y'all for tuning in. So we'll see. I'm gonna be back with episode 2 of WandaVision, and we'll see how it goes. I don't know, but so far it's really good. Shout out to the writers of this show because y'all are killing it. Probably got some really old people or some really smart young people to go back and watch some of the old shows like I Love Lucy and Bewitched and stuff like that, because there was definitely some callbacks, some feel good moments in that I could kind of connect to and kind of reminded me of watching some of those shows with my parents. But anyway, man, if y'all really like this, hit the like button, put your comments below to let me know what you think about it. Man, be sure to tune in for upcoming episodes of this where I'm going to be reviewing movies and some more TV shows, especially WandaVision and stuff like that. So this is going to be a really great thing that we're going to be having moving forward. Again, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm your host, John F. Thomas, and I'll see you on the next go round. All right, peace.